Case the big diesel, Shaquille O'Neal. And watch the Brooklyn Nets in this one as they go up against the Oklahoma City Thunder at Chesapeake Energy Arena. And for Oklahoma City, at fourth place in the Western Conference, they haven't been an easy opponent for anyone to deal with this season. And we got to see Paul George tonight. Tremendous all-around player, but Shaq, if you were in George's shoes, what's the one area you might try to improve on?
I think he gets to the line more often because he's a great free throw shooter, and you want to make the most of that, Ernie.
You know what? He's a great playmaker, and he was exceptional before he got to Oklahoma City and before he got injured. So now he's going to just continue that. He's learning to reinvent himself in a different way.
It's time to tip this game off.
Let's tip it off.
Let's go to Kevin Harlan, and let's tip it off.
We're coming at you from the peak, Chesapeake Energy Arena in beautiful Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, as the Thunder prepare to take the floor. Alongside Doris Burke and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan. And on the sidelines, Hall of Famer David Aldridge. This is the first game in the next road trip. 16 games off the lead. They may not be championship contenders, but a dangerous team.
And right now for the Nets, they've had a tremendous year. There were a lot of people waiting for them to take that tumble late in the season. Well, those people might be waiting for a little while longer.
Or maybe they look to me like they're ready to make some serious noise in the playoffs.
And before we get going, let's hear from David Aldridge on the sideline. David?
Well, guys, Paul George has made a reputation as a dynamic two-way player. He said, you can dominate a game in so many ways. That's always been my mindset. I just go out there and ball. Kevin, back to you.
Well, you love that versatility, D.A. Thank you. We have two teams battling for playoff position here. Should be a postseason type atmosphere tonight, Doris.
Kev, when we get to this point in the season, there's a higher level of intensity. Both clubs need this game. Both clubs want this game. So this could be tense. It should be hard fought, and I can't wait.
I'm with you. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Ready, gentlemen? Ready?
And so off the tip, it's Oklahoma City. So the Nets starting five. Russell and Crabbe are in the backcourt together. Allen is out there with Caruch. And it's Harris in at the 3 spot. Here's Ferguson. Just 5 on the clock. Here's Grant. Doesn't get it to drop for him. The Nets go the other way with it. Crabbe finds Russell. Here's Crabbe. Taking a look at his stats, he's averaging around 9.5 points a game. Drills the three-pointer. Allen's got the first bucket of the game with the 3 for Brooklyn.
And he's not going to miss that sort of an opportunity from deep.
Here's George. Allen with the rebound. Brooklyn Nets come into this one after a win against the Detroit Pistons.
And I was impressed with how comfortable they looked in that environment, made the most of their possessions.
They were extremely efficient, Greg. They ran their offense well and took good high percentage shots.
Here's Ferguson. Taking a look at his numbers, he averages about 7 points a game. Russell passes to Caruch. Harris kicks to Allen. Over Adams. Allen's shot is off. Thunder have gone 0-3 from the field to start the game.
And Steven Adams came into this league at 19 already a physical specimen and has only gotten stronger. Just a bruising presence down low.
Here's Russell. Paul George making his last shot. Passes it to Crabbe. Pulls up on the wing. That's in, and he found his range with that one. Now 1 for 2.
Well, the mid-range game is starting to flow right now for Allen Crabbe. Doing work, sir.
George against Harris. George with the bucket.
Heating up early on. This is exactly how he wanted to start the night.
exactly right. I mean, he's found his rhythm early. The defense has got to do a better job guarding him from this point on.
Now, here is Russell. 11 points for him in that last game against Detroit. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. D'Angelo Russell, the lefty playmaker out of Ohio State. Doris, a lot to like about his ability to create.
Well, he certainly, Kevin, has a nose for scoring and combines that with good vision. I think the one thing he's got to be careful of is shot selection and taking care of the basketball.
Take a break. Take a break. 2 shots.
First free throw is good.
And for D'Angelo Russell, the former number 2 pick, it's all about developing himself as a player and a leader. Has focused more on the team and less on himself of late, and knows what is expected of him and has to earn every second of floor time.
Dinwiddie is checked in for Craig. And last season, Russell had to fight for minutes upon returning from injury.
Yeah, and battles like that help mature a player and really keep them focused. Those are areas where Russell had struggled in the past. I think he and his coach both know it's not easy, but it has already started making Russell the best player he can be.
We are talking about a big-time offensive rebounder, and Steven Adams unafraid to impose his will with that frame.
To the paint. Down low. A nice shot by George. George has got 6 points.
What a phenomenal quarter from the field. A great shooting percentage, excellent shots. This is really well done.
Harris against George. Harris kicks to Dinwiddie. 6 on the shot clock. Fires the 3. Sinks the three-pointer. Dinwiddie's got himself on the board with 3 there.
Well, Spencer Dinwiddie does such a good job of understanding what the defense is going to give him. How about that pick and roll play? That's nice.
Now, here is George. A 14-point game for him in the win against the Utah Jazz.
You know what else impressed me? How infectious his tenacity was. Simply a wrecking ball on the boards, collected huge amounts of rebounds.
And Jeremy Grant, great genes for the game, Greg. Father was Harvey, uncle was Horace, both NBA players and stars. His brother Jerian also in the association.
Yeah, and Jeremy might be the best athletically of them all. I mean, 6'8" with that 7'3" wingspan, great bounce. If he can develop his skill to match, he'll have a long and prosperous NBA career.
That free throw missing. Doris, I'm looking at Jeremy Grant, a second-round pick back in 2014 out of Syracuse. The Grant family has produced a number of NBA players. What do you think caused him to slip to the second round?
Well, Jeremy Grant was definitely a young man drafted on potential. Great athlete whose game is still sort of rounding its way out. He has gotten on the floor in the NBA because of his defense, his ability to run in transition, and I think on the offensive end, there are a number of areas he can improve on. He can become a knockdown mid-range shooter. He can get 8 to 10 points in transition or offensive rebounds. There's a lot to like here, Kevin.
Here's LeVert. 12 points his last outing. It's rebounded by Schroeder. And the pass to Burton. And he drops it in from the low post. Burton's got his first points of the game.
I'll tell you, such a tremendous rhythm to that sequence. Great player movement, great ball movement on the lead pass.
Carroll against Grant. Now here's Carroll. And they get some nice contributions from him on a nightly basis as he averages over 11 points a game. From outside the arc, and that would have counted, but his shot was off the mark this time. So at the end of 1 quarter of play, still a close game. Oklahoma City out in front, leading by just 2. And we'll get the second quarter underway on the other side of this break. The leadership of Russell Westbrook is so important to the team, and Steve, what it means to him.
doing just an unbelievable job of just controlling the guys, controlling the game, making sure that everyone's feeling in the right mood to play and willing to sacrifice for one another.
You know, so much of leadership is that emotional component, motivating guys to give their all.
And Russ certainly leads by example with his competitive zeal, but he understands also he's got to bring his teammates with him.
And close game underway so far. We'll see if either of these teams can jump out in the second quarter. And let's quickly break down the game we've seen so far from the Thunder, guys.
I love the fact that they're getting so many of their points at the rim. Just a solid first period.
Well, Greg, playing bully basketball on the block. Every opportunity they've wanted at the rack, they got it.
On the court right now, second quarter starting for the Nets. Dinwiddie and LeVert teaming up as the backcourt. Tamari Carroll is out there with Davis, and it's Allen in at the 5, roaming the paint. And Carroll gets it to go.
Well, this is how you make it easy on yourself. Tamari Carroll gets close position on the interior and makes it easy.
And now that that final debt Doris has been paid, it must feel like a huge relief for Nets fans to be done with that trade they made with Boston.
Well, you hate to say it, but trading for KG, Pierce, and Terry back in 2013 turned out to be a disaster for the Nets. Probably set the organization back a good 5 years. They must be thrilled to be out from under the weight of that mistake.
And Oklahoma City making a change here. Morris is coach here for Brooklyn. Rabs checked in. Pass to Dinwiddie. Over Morris. That one off the back iron and out. Under trailing by 3. Here's Burton. Noel dishes to Schroeder. Here's Grant. And not sure what he was thinking there. Brooklyn's gone 3 of 3 from three-point land here tonight. Out to the right wing. Crabbe from long range. Nailed from three-point land. Crabbe's got his second bucket tonight.
Yeah, those are starting to add up, guys. Of their last 5 baskets, 3 have been triples.
Schroeder outside. Noel finds Schroeder. Morris looking over the floor. Grant. They can't stop the run with that one. And so it's Dinwiddie with it. He'll bring it up for the Brooklyn Nets. They lead by 6, their biggest margin. Last time they met was in Brooklyn.
And they lost a close one last time they saw each other. And you have to think that it was the foul trouble that really kept them from getting the win.
Yeah, some of their starters had to take an early seat on the bench, and that ruined the rhythm and flow they were trying to establish.
A much better quarter for them shooting the ball.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Called for Oklahoma City. You know, Doris, certain guards just have a knack for scoring to the post. When you think of that list, I'm sure there are a couple right at the top that come to mind.
Yeah, well, who don't you want to deal with in the low post out of the guard position? I'll give you one. Dwayne Wade. If he's on the post with a back-down dribble that he can use to his advantage, turn the lights out. Here's another guy, Sean Livingston. Unbelievable length, plays at his own pace. Both guys are nightmares in the post. Good luck checking either one.
Making a switch here.
And checking out some stats for D'Angelo Russell. A strong stretch of play the last 10 games. He's putting up about 20 points per game, 7 assists, and 2 rebounds. And for any other player putting up those numbers, we'd say they were great, but for him, they're just simply run-of-the-mill.
Agreed. A lot of guys in this league would be very happy with that stat line, but this guy is the real deal. He is built for more.
Now, here is Morris. Can they get it? And there's the whistle. 3-second violation.
And here's a look at some good contributions, really, since the All-Star break. 9th in rebounding, 15th in field goal percentage. and he's in the top 20 in steals, bringing that focus and intensity at both ends.
And he's a top 10 rebounder this year for good reason. He's unbelievably driven, and he competes with you for the entire game. Davis against Adams. Davis, the pass to Karouche. And the lead now, double digits on that bucket. And now it's a 10-point Nets lead.
And the lead should be safe if they can keep shooting the basketball like this.
Morris outside, pass to George. Oklahoma City moving it around. Here's Ferguson. He's guarded by Graham. Ferguson misses.
And they just tried everything to stem the tide here, but nothing seems to work.
Well, Greg, I think this other team is just in the zone right now. They're clicking on the offensive end, and the defense starting to look frustrated.
And no doubt they've been the more efficient team in this first half.
Well, I think they're getting quality shots, and it's thanks to how aggressive they have been in this half.
Now, here's George. 6 points for him.
Boy, I'll tell you, he has plenty of space, but it looked like a little bit of a hitch in that release.
Harris kicks to Russell. The Thunder pull it in.
Boy, the defense collapsing and throwing him off balance on his way to the cup.
Passes it to Morris. Inside, it's stolen by Davis. Just 1 second between the shot clock and game clock. Harris outside. And the Nets, another three.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
And here's Westbrook. 23 points for him the last game against Utah. Over Russell.
Well, you want to see some more ferocity on the defensive end from D'Angelo Russell. Right there, he proves what a force he can be.
And so it's Brooklyn. Their lead at 15 going into the break. And we'll see if they can keep up their tremendous shooting they've been dialed in so far from the field. And we'll be right back after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, Hoop fans. NBA halftime show on 2K Sports. EJ, Shaq, Jet. Brooklyn found themselves in a close game in the first. They were unable to ever build a big lead in the first period, with 3 points being their largest cushion. They just exploded in the second quarter, grabbing the momentum and running with it. Basket after basket, and they played stingy defense. Now they've got a halftime lead that's going to be very difficult to erase. And from what Nets, Kenny, what's your takeaway?
They obviously crushed it from deep. They were firing it from every angle and kept hitting the target. I mean, look at the score. Obviously, a lot of things went right for them, but that's a big one.
And now, Shaq, let's get your opinion on Oklahoma City.
Well, they got a ton of issues to work out. Allow way too high a percentage to be shot against them. Not really showing any energy on defense. No discipline. Look at their faces, Ernie. Do they even want to be here?
That's all for now. Say goodbye to the folks. Thanks for joining us. Third quarter, just about ready to begin.
Welcome back to Oklahoma City, everyone. You can see Chesapeake Energy Arena there in the background as the cars stream down I-40. And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. Nets leading by 15, all fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade for the second half of basketball. So for Oklahoma City right now, the forwards, George and Grant. Westbrook and Ferguson, their backcourt, and it's Adams in at the center position. And so Westbrook will bring it up for Oklahoma City. Following this game, they'll hit the road to challenge the Pacers at Pacers Arena in Indianapolis. That will be a getaway game for them. Now, here's Westbrook. Misses off the right iron. And Alan Crabb, a strong shooter from outside, but he can still be a bit streaky, Greg, at times.
Yeah, I mean, he'll joke with himself that when he's off, he plays like Allen, but when he's on, he's playing like AC. I mean, he uses that Jekyll and Hyde motivation to make sure he stays aggressive on offense. The team and coaching staff are in on it as well, as they know a hot Crabb is a handful to deal with.
Here's Crabb. Paul George making his last shot. Outside, Russell. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Lays it up off the glass. And the Nets lead by 20.
Marvelous start to the second half. 3 for 3.
Time called here. The Thunder decide to talk it over. Commissioner Adam Silver recently said there's nothing magical about 82 games. Doris, what do you read into that?
I read nothing more than the leadership that Adam Silver is about. And it seems to me that the NBA is one of the most proactive professional sports leagues in the world. And by that I mean, Kevin, they will evaluate every aspect of their business. If they believe it's advantageous to make change, then they will go to their competition committee, they will go to their ownership committees, and they will make whatever change they believe is for the ultimate good of the game. And that's exactly what you'd hope for.
Personally, 82 games, in your opinion?
Kevin, it can be a little bit of a grind, but there is money at stake. And obviously, that's a difficult thing for owners to come up and over. The players would have to want to give some money back. So, listen, 82 games is long, but what happens, I don't know.
A different look for Oklahoma City. Patterson comes in for Grant, and Dennis Schroeder subbed in for Ferguson. Over a minute and a half into the third quarter of action. The shot's good from Westbrook.
I love how Westbrook rises and fires immediately. Ball touches his hands, and it's gone before you can blink.
Inside, here's Allen. No stopping him there. Jams it in as he's fouled. Chance now for a three-point play. Steven Adams picks one up.
Boy, nice feed. Leading him into some space. A nice catch on the run, too. Wow.
The Nets have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far. Nerlens Noel checks in for Oklahoma City.
One shot.
And that one falls for Allen.
When you think about Thunder coach Billy Donovan taking over in 2015, he came in as a 2-time NCAA champion at Florida and one of only 4 individuals to play and coach in a Final Four. Incredible stuff.
Dinwiddie passes that to the left wing. Baseline J on the way. Dinwiddie's shot is off.
But only the first miss of the second half. They've come out here with authority.
And there's the pass to Patterson. Schroeder, left side. Clock at 6. Back to Patterson. Lets it go from deep. No good that time. The Nets go the other way with it. And Coach Donovan, when he came in, wanted to encourage more ball movement and spacing.
I'm not sure it's played exactly as he had hoped. It's not always possible to shoehorn a new style of play. You've got to adapt to your personnel.
Here's Dinwiddie. He's been putting up the points on a very steady basis, averaging around 17.5 points a game. Here's LeVert, and he drops in the layup off the glass. And the Nets lead by 21.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Schroeder dishes to Westbrook. Lays it up and banks it in. Westbrook's got 6 points. There's 1:38 left in the third quarter. Here's Dinwiddie. Pass to Carroll. Takes the 3. It's hauled in by George. Now here's Schroeder. He's guarded closely, and it's blocked.
Look at DeMar Carroll get in space and blocks at its best.
And the Thunder with some changes. Morris is checked in for Nerlens Noel, and Burton subbed in for Russell Westbrook. And the Nets also making a change. Ed Davis is checked in for Harris. Thunder trailing by 19. Joe Harris, a guy that bounced back between the G League, Doris, and the NBA his first few seasons.
Right, Joe Harris has thrived fitting into a shooting role with this team. And credit Coach Kenny Atkinson for saying, listen, model yourself after Kyle Korver.
Oklahoma City shooting their third free throw attempt of the game. Steven Adams, he's checked in for Patterson.
One shot.
That's good from Schroeder. The Oklahoma City Thunder with one of the more rabid fan bases, Doris, in the NBA.
Well, 7 straight seasons of sellouts. There's something about the love affair you find in these small market one-sport towns. This is an organization that has the complete and full support of their community.
Dinwiddie kicks to just 4 to shoot. Carroll cans the shot with nobody near him. Carroll's got 7 points. And so it's Schroeder with the ball. He'll bring it up for Oklahoma City. It's an 18-point game. Pass to George. And Allen with the block. There's 31 seconds left in the third quarter of the game. Passes it to LeVert. Over Morris. Second chance shot. And Davis puts it in.
How about the perseverance there, the extra effort on that offensive glass?
Schroeder up top. He isn't playing a big part of their offensive scheme, averaging around 15.5 points a game. The 3 quarters of play all in the books, and this one all but over already. It's the Nets just dominating this one. And do not go away, as we'll be back in just a few moments with the start of our fourth quarter coming up next. And now let's go back to a play from earlier as we show you our State Farm assist of the game.
And he sliced them with his feet. They had no chance to prevent that basket.
Well, that's what a great pass will do, right? You love the unselfish play.
And we reach the fourth quarter in a game that may be already out of hand. Thunder trailing by 20 on the court for the Nets, getting the fourth quarter going. Russell and Grab are in the backcourt together. Davis is out there with Allen, and it's Caruge in at the 3 spot. And Adams with the slam.
Yeah, this is why Adams is such a high percentage shooter. If he gets close to the rim, he's going to finish with authority.
Russell passes to Caruge. Knocks it loose. Stolen by George. Oh, and a fast break for Oklahoma City. Ferguson's shot is good. Al Russell. That's tipped. Allen with the rebound.
A slight rebound advantage for them. One more column in their favor, and it's all adding up.
Russell kicks to Crab. Five on the clock. From the top of the key, Russell Westbrook with the rebound. Thunder trailing by 16. Now the basket Grant. A quick shot there, and it's off target.
Hold for a while now.
Yeah, starting to look like it's taking its toll mentally. He doesn't look like himself.
And the foul called on Russell Westbrook. That is his first foul of the game. Harris is checked in for Allen. Timeout called the Nets. Look at the state of the game. International leagues getting better and better, Doris. There's no doubt about it. We see it at Olympic times and during FIBA play in between. We see a lot of NBA players who have spent time abroad. I think they come back better.
I don't think there's any doubt about that, Kevin. I think wherever you can hone your craft and do it in a competitive environment where winning and losing is at stake on a nightly basis, it has so many opportunities for learning and growth. So, okay, I can't turn it over 5 times in a competitive environment, regardless of what league I'm playing in, because that's to the detriment of my team. If I'm lazy on the defensive end, I'm going to get exposed by good offensive players. To me, Kev, I love anytime there's competitive basketball being played. I want to watch it.
Love that answer. About a minute and a half into the fourth quarter now. Caruch, it's good.
Indicative of what we've seen tonight. One team being the aggressor, the other failing to react.
Right, really the defensive end, not offering any challenge at all at the cup.
Here's Westbrook, following the bucket by the Nets. Grant down low. To the wing on the left. 5 to shoot. Ferguson, the pass to Adams, and the call on the shot that sends him to the line.
Well, you think to Steven Adams, and coming out of New Zealand, playing about 1 year at the University of Pittsburgh, now in his 5th season as a starter for the Thunder. And what a pivotal guy he's become for this franchise.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Loose shots.
He's off on the first. And Steven Adams drafted by OKC with the 12th pick in 2013. That draft pick, a centerpiece of the James Harden trade.
And that trade will go down as one of the great conversation pieces of all time, whether or not you should have moved James Harden. But the reality is, where Adams is concerned, they got a 2-way big man with incredible athleticism, unbelievable physical strength, and an evolving offensive game. So this is one piece of the trade that you have made great use of.
To the inside, Russell with the bucket. And the Nets lead by 19.
They're finding lanes to the consistency. 5 buckets in a row from the paint.
Westbrook surveying the D. George, count the bucket, coming off a perfectly placed assist.
Nothing you can do there, Kevin. Paul George has all the tools to rise and fire with a hand in his face.
Grab the pass to Caruch. Crab kicks to Russell. From 13, chalk up 2 there.
Well, this is a main strength of D'Angelo Russell. When he gets room to shoot from the mid-range, there's no hesitation.
Left side, George. Over Harris. 6 for 10 with that shot going in. That's a big game for a lot of guys.
You know, he had room to operate, but added a little fade on that shot just for good measure.
1:51 left in the fourth quarter. Russell with it. Westbrook picks him up. Harris misses.
Just enough coverage to bother that 3-point attempt.
Westbrook wide open. He fires. Adams' shot is off.
Boy, a little too casual on the layup. Temporary loss of focus. Not good.
Ball's knocked loose.
And tonight's battle is going to end with a very clear winner, leaving nothing to chance. Impressive win for the Nets.
You know, it's tough to put your finger on the deciding factor. Say that the shooting accuracy made the difference.
Yeah, I think you're on point, Kevin. They got better looks, and that tends to lead to a better field goal percentage.
And so checking out the record for these guys, tonight will mark win number 37 for them on the year.
No doubt they came in very motivated to win this one and finish the season series at a game apiece.
And so it's Brooklyn with it, following the score by Oklahoma City. To the left side wing. Crab from long range. It's rebounded by Oklahoma City.
Boy, for a capable three-point shooter, that's one he expects to make.
Westbrook kicks to Grant. We've got 33 seconds left here in the fourth quarter. To the wing right side. Here's Ferguson. Hands the shot from the wing.
And guys, you got to ask, where was this effort when it mattered? The game's over now.
Right. Frustrating for sure, Greg. I don't think they'll be able to mount a comeback at this point.
Westbrook against Russell. And so it's Brooklyn easily grabbing this one. And in the win, a comfortable win in what was, I think, gee, a pretty hostile environment.
It really was. You know, it's never going to be easy on the road, but they didn't have too many problems with that tonight.
Thank you for joining us. That'll do it for now. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, Kevin Harlan saying thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.